also like the idea of a beef just growing from just misunderstanding the lyrics of the song. Say, you know how like a lot of artists have people around them, like, okay, they may call them like hanger-ons. Okay, guys who do shit for them. So these are usually like the soldiers, the ones who fight their battles in the streets and stuff for them. So this guy may hear a song and is like, ha, boss, I think there's some upcoming guy trying to diss you. Like, let's listen to this stuff. And they will hype the guy and pump the guy. And before you know it, somebody's dissing you on a track.
Like, bruh,
and you're like,
have you had this? Have you had this?
You're like, okay, first of all, I was in a way trying to big you up and stuff. But then you may be at a point where they've already crossed that line. They now see you as the enemy.
Yes.
I tend to think sometimes it comes from the competitive nature of the game. Like, I want to beat you and you want to beat me. And at times, we don't even have like a thing to compete about, but there has to be a sense that we're competing. So either we'll cook up things or create things or jump onto the slightest things to support that urge for us to really feel like we are in that race. So sometimes I feel like we just throw ourselves in that race, or it's just the competitive nature of what we do.
It is, but also sometimes that's what the fans want to see. They want to see you compete and show them who is best, you know?
Yeah.
So we're trying to prove a point here.
They're always comparing. The fans are always comparing.
Yeah.
Like,
Remember the era of the whole Firebase, Gargamel.
yeah. I lived it. I lived that shit. I lived it.
Like,
yeah. Good times.
know,
Good times.
right?
Not for all the violence, but good times.
That's very strong in music, right?
Yeah.
And it has worked because you propel the name out there.
Yeah.
You know, you're on people's lips all the time.
Yeah.
But what about other art forms?
Like,
What about?
You think it works better? Like, you think it works more in music than in other art forms? Like,
that's the impression we're getting. Is that I don't know of any example of that beef that worked.
Da Vinci's main nemesis.
yeah, like who
And
was his
that has
rival?
worked
Who was his
constructively.
rival? That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never thought about it
maybe
like
in
that.
Sports, yes, right?
I think sports just borrows from art, maybe.
Yeah.
We always want to have one up on the other. Like right now, people are watching the Michael Jordan documentary, and there has never been a more heated debate about who's the greatest basketballer of all time. And it's like people can't sit and just watch this thing and appreciate it. They want someone to pit against.
Yes.
That sort of like gives it more meaning to them if they say, let's compare it to LeBron. Because now LeBron is looked at as the guy who's like the best. And even when you come here, man, like they will never have a time where we say, Bebe Cool is great at this, Bobby Wine is great at this, let's appreciate them in this way. No. Bobby, who's better? That's what we want. That's what we want. Yeah.
But imagine if it was like this.
Yeah.
Yes, the fans love it, the audiences love it. But as for the artists, imagine if you were the only one. Okay? If you stayed literally in your lane, doing your thing, with no references, with no competition, what would propel you? Ambitions are not enough to propel sometimes.
That's interesting.
You need
'cause
something
I
that
think
keeps you in check.
You would be a potato, like you would go stale. You have nothing to bounce off. You have, like you said, you have no references. And was it last week on Tuesday? I landed on this video where Andrew was talking about like creatives needing or creatives feeding off other creatives. And there's something profound he said where he said you're only as good as your influences and your peers.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense. Like the stuff around you usually inspires the stuff you're going to create. Either you've been listening to say reggae for a minute, you're going to find a bunch of like reggae, like either the choice of music, the style in what you're making.
Yeah.
Either because it's what you've been surrounding yourself with.
The fans actually make you.
Yeah.
All that criticism is very important, you know. It helps you define who you are. Me as an artist, I connect to many genres of music. I connect to reggae, hip-hop, dancehall. At the end of the day, all I can do is do my best at all and put it out there and let them judge and let them define me.
I get that. Like, I get your approach. Though,
for me, it makes a lot of sense because I might think this is what is best, but they have a totally different opinion. But say if I made a mistake or I'm not doing something right when I'm doing hip hop, when I put it out there, they'll always tell me, yo, this doesn't sound right, or hey, LB, this track is the best, and then I'll try to stick to that direction. Because at the end of the day, you want to do what your fans want you to do, you know, for them to appreciate you more.
So for you, it's more about like the consumer than what you give the consumer and the direction you want them to take.
I connect with so many genres, but for me, it's about the message and the music. Because what I'm trying to do is say something, tell my story, and change lives. That's why I wake up every single day to write music. So if I'm doing that, whatever, it doesn't matter what genre.
Interestingly, what is just earlier when I said competition, you can put you in check.
Yeah.
You reference where you are, and also really just sometimes a litmus test.
Yeah,
you know.
Straight up.
Then on the other hand, if you don't have that active competition going on, you know that industry aggression from from a fellow artist. What then you can allow yourself to do is put the fans in a position to actively criticize you.
Yes.
You know, but then that's also a slippery road of its own.
And they going to like either way they're going to. If
either way they're going to, but you let them know that you have the power to influence. There are people who do that.
Yeah.
Like there have been instances where musicians they'll leak in quotes, you know, a bunch of songs.
Yeah.
And then fans go out and say, this is whack, this is there, this is there. But knowing that this is a litmus test, while we then set forward to work on, say, an album.
Have you leaked your own shit before?
Yeah, I do that all the time. Many times I've met artists, big artists, and they tell me, LB, when I started out, I tried this, I tried that, and oh my God, it didn't work out. But when I tried this, is when my career set off. So for me, it makes a lot of sense.
I tried to like beat up someone that didn't work. I tried to kill a DJ that didn't work.
I think musically, makes sense.
What are some of like the extremes you would go to put your work out or have like your work scene?
Man, I do crazy shit for my music.
Yeah.
Yeah, what keeps me on check is my values, I think. Knowing what I believe in and what I stand for. Yeah. Otherwise, if I didn't have those things, I'd go crazy.
Well, do you see yourself like having like a music mob? Like you have like a gang, but really you guys are there to fuck shit up where like say you have a bunch of bouncers, you have a whole military setup. You know, okay, we're pulling up to this concert. You have your guys who beat up the DJs who don't want to play your shit.
No.
Mafia.
I'm pretty sure there are people who are set up like that.
If I'm threatened and there is need for that, yes. But if there's no need, no, I'm not the type to cause chaos.
Yeah.
No.
Have you heard of the Lipanda Boys? You know, right? You've heard of them, right?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out who they belong to. But she's laughing because she knows what's
organized chaos.
Yo, they apparently they're at every concert. They're either robbing, beating people up.
But that's what they're just. I don't want to call them opportunists, but they're organized. They are
organized because they even have a name.
Should I call them unorganized?
But what's the point? Is that like a business where you go and?
It's not a business.
For the money.
It's not what we're talking about. It's the gang, the people you have to the guys who have your back at the show. You know, like your back. Because I think from what I see, you need them. Like from the environments I see and the stories I hear. There's a necessity for them. Otherwise, these guys wouldn't be having them. And sometimes these are the guys who are like, they see you as their star, and you're the one like you're like the main, either like you're the breadwinner of the squad and shit. And sometimes you find that elevates you to a level where they're now all protecting you and stuff. Sometimes it builds like that. Sometimes it's not just from kissing your ass. But because of what they hope to get from you and stuff. Yeah. So in a way, it's a relationship of I get this from you, I also get this from you. Though it's never discussed like that sometimes.
Is that like Does everyone have to do that then?
Like sometimes I think it's a necessity. I won't lie to you. Like I would definitely get into that street shit if I saw that. If I saw that this
always avoided trouble.
Is sometimes you can't avoid it.
Like get into a gang even when I am conscious and consciously knowing
but the gang
what is
all
going to happen, how many people might
it's
get
very
hurt,
important to have
that I
belonging.
might be thrown into jail.
And also depends on how we are defining this gang. Sometimes it could be security.
But now we're talking about a crime racket here.
Yes, you're speaking about a crime bracket. That's why I'm saying, me as LB, I wouldn't go there.
Still on the crime bracket, I'll be very honest, I see the necessity of it. Because there are so many people who are not able to cross the line because some fool came and fucked up their sound. Someone messed up their song. Someone did something to deter them or some shit. Yes. And if there was someone like protecting this person who would hear their music or would do that. So sometimes I think, and I'm like, if that is going to stand in the way of that, then there may be like necessary force required.
That's why I said, unless you give me reason to. Yeah. If you step on my toe, I will definitely take action. I've seen people, promoters, they invite you for a show, tell you we're going to give you this amount after you've performed. They don't want to pay, or for some reason their wife is giving birth. Now those ones I will handle. But I just want to
What do you do?
No.
We would like to hear that.
Too much evidence.
Let me.
I mean, you don't have to name names. Just you threw somebody off.
I will find a way of putting him in his place.
Okay. Do you have any examples? Do you have any examples you want to throw?
I won't say that on TV. What if it actually happens and someone,
Okay. Let me set this up properly. We have been talking about concerts, for the last few minutes. And there have been some markers and some points about about Uganda's music scene, and more so now throwing light into with this whole pandemic of COVID-19. The one part that has definitely been shut off is the live scene, right? Yeah. Now, there's two things. One is I feel like we are trying to adapt. We are learning, and we are seeing consumerism can be manipulated. Okay. The fans can consume music and entertainment in a different type of way. Because there was, for some time, there was this whole notion that Ugandans have a very poor culture, with the consuming content online, and so many artists were undermined about, putting their music out there, or even just things like that. And now,
developing that stream,
and now it's the only option they have.
Yeah.
What do you think about Uganda's music scene with regards to
like how they're adapting to the?
Not even that, before the COVID-19 situation, right? Yeah. Every time I met someone from Kenya, they'll tell me, you guys have a good live music scene, but you don't support each other. Yeah. In Kenya, they have a good electronic music scene. The challenge also is the support. But for us, it feels like they have rallied more organizations, and even just the statutory or support is there. Here it's not so much. And we have a lot of bands doing covers. That has affected how people...
Do you think that's a bad thing? Like, now that you say that, like, UB40 did their thing based just off that move, the whole covers move. Do you think when you overdo it, you lose the sense of like your own originality and creativity?
Okay.
Where you stop
so
UB40
up with
stuff because you're already feeding off what someone else
UB40 did covers, but they even went to lengths of re-recording and they made iterations of those very songs. So much that so many of the songs they did, we had no idea who the original composers and performers were. That's how well they executed it. That's I want to say that's different, but still, those were covers. Yeah. But are they technically identified as covers?
Maybe renditions more than covers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they made those covers became more popular than the original songs. We were talking about Eric Donaldson's Cherry
Now
Your
I'm being
Baby.
Mr. Green. Let me just not to cut you off a bit. I'm being Mr. Green right now. When I would love to know the the distinction between a rendition and a cover. If I'm covering, say, a song, and I'm just doing word for word.
Word for word music, you're basically carbon copy of the same musical composition with a different performance. That's a cover. A rendition of a song would be in hip hop. The whole sampling thing came up, and there were instances where you'd have a producer or an artist take a whole song, and just and basically make a different composition out of an original song, but maintain the integrity of the original song without really trying to make it sound different. They want you to know this is the other song, and I used it like this, So much that in some instances they would actually name their songs. They would say this is, if say we had a song called Baby Be Mine, for example. You get a huge chunk of Baby Be Mine. You're like, you know what? I'm going to call my song Baby Be Mine too, because this song is Baby Be Mine, and I've basically just made a rendition of Baby Be Mine. You either feature the hook or just use a really significant part of that song so much that you can't really call it a sample anymore. In audio terminologies, a sample is a very small section of a master recording. A master recording simply means an original recording that is recognized officially.
Richie Kawesa? He's like a really great vocalist. I dig shit. He did Nera again. He has like a rendition of it, which is like really dope. Slow down. It is great. It is great.
What's that guitarist's name?
It is great.
Shama.
I don't know the guys who played on it, but I just know he like really killed the rendition. Now I understand. Now I understand it even more when I hear a rendition on the cover, because they were a bit blurry to me because they're almost like the same things. But it's the approach that changes.
With regards to the technical boundaries, what makes a rendition, what makes a cover. Lots of bands do covers because they're coming up straightforward. In their list, they're saying, we're going to do this song, we'll do this song, we'll do this song, after this, we'll do this song. But not saying in the rehearsal, guys, I'd like us to do something that pays respect to this song, another that pays respect to this song, make that one composition. That's different.
There's something also, like, as you were saying that, we know how crazy it is in the music industry. Fine, there's guys who are making like a lot of money out of it and all that. But also look at guys who are just coming up who can't get the spots that those guys get. So these guys are maybe hired by a bar. And these guys they're really just required to entertain people in the evening. And half the time, your original shit is not going to work that moment for this couple wants to listen to some Michael Bolton or some stuff, some Celine Dion or some stuff, and maybe the familiarity of it is what's going to make their evening better. That in a way is an undoing for them because they have to satisfy this other demand.
As an artist, do you think, say, if you had a show, a 2-hour performance, do you think you'd find it relevant to do covers?
I'm going to answer this basing from where I am or where I would be coming from as an artist in that particular moment. Am I starting out? Am I established?
Say you're starting out.
I'm starting out. You know what? I've never felt the appeal to do covers. Maybe that's just me as a person. But I also understand the people who do the covers. Like I see the appeal, and I also see how they're just really trying to vibe with the crowd, connect with the crowd, or also maybe that's just a practice like thing for them, like they're practicing their art through someone else's music. That's they have different explanations they would give you, but I wouldn't.
Many times I've had guys saying, "Hey, LP," they tell me, "Please don't do covers. Don't do covers because sometimes the crowd will love that song more and it overshines what?"
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're like, what's that song she did before this song?
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yes.
So for me, no, I don't find it relevant. Maybe once in a while, maybe.
Can I use a practical example of me DJing? So, making a decision to do a remix of a song that people already know, to do or to play the original version or to play my own songs that nobody knows, or to play one of my songs that people know. man, it's not a very good place to be in. So, what I want to start with, if I have a 1 hour set, I know that I want to play enough to make these guys feel comfortable that I am able to fulfill.
Are these the guys that are already seated down?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm able to fulfill their musical
Demands.
yes,
the
you know,
vibe.
keep them vibing. Then when they're comfortable, they don't question my selection anymore. Then I will start to drop in things that they're like, whoa, but things that fit in the mix, but things that they don't really know. Then after that, I would definitely want to bring in things that they're familiar with. You know that. So I want, by the time I'm finishing my set, I want the last few songs I play. I would love for someone to come and ask me, by the way, what's that song you played? You know, I wouldn't want to play the songs they don't know in the beginning because.
Or in the end. Want to play them
In the beginning, I would like to pick up. I just want them to feel comfortable with me. If I'm new,
Get to know you like a bit like you.
Man, I have been chased off DJ booths for playing so much.
That's a great experience. Was it a bad thing or good?
Let me tell you this. I was playing songs that they knew at the tempos they are not used to. It's ridiculous, right? But bro, if you go to Masaka and you play a song that's at 101 or 102 BPM at its original tempo, you're shit. I kid you not. You have to play that thing at no less than 108. That's very fast because that you are going into the Lingala range. You need to understand these things.
And they gravitate more towards that range?
Yes. If you don't understand the demography you're playing for, you'll fail. It doesn't matter your song selection. You know, if you're playing at
Good
a
point.
if you're playing at a wedding, you know, you need to understand that
like this,
it doesn't matter how hot I'm scratching. You know, if I'm playing the wrong
shit,
songs, nobody cares. Like some judge is going to come and tell me, young man,
Can you play this song?
I have my songs on the flash. Just let them play. Don't play your things. Just let these songs play. It's wow.
Opens his coat and pulls out a CD.
Yes, and
Take
and
a
like, this is the one you should be playing.
They have the audacity to do that.
Yes.
Ooh,
Man.
is this our old uncles of ours? Shit.
Another example I can give you is I was DJing at a Kwanjula one time. No, not a Kwanjula. A wedding anyway. And the groom side and the bride side were at loggerheads about what style of music they should be entertaining their sides with. So the groom side comes and says, "You have this gospel." I said, "Yeah, I do. Come and see." I said, "Yes. You saw it." The other comes and says, "Do you have that? The Chidongo one for the club." They said they want that. I said, I have that. Wow. When I started to mix the two, the side that wanted gospel said, "Young man, what is going on?" The side that wanted the dance music came and told me, "My guy, you're spoiling the vibe, you know? Look,
pick a side."
I would like to be hired again. Actually, after that gig, I will be honest with you guys, I don't look forward to doing weddings because, it's hard to please those guys. For me, that's so effortless.
I can imagine.
I failed. I'm not even going to stress, man. Put me at a concert.
You know.
Both. You play one song secular, one song gospel.
That's the thing I was doing. I realized I was doing the wrong thing instead. I should have just said, you know what? I'm going to. You will hate me for doing this, but I'm going to please this side.
Yeah.
I should have done that. I tried to. And they were all like,
It's not
you had to get into your King Solomon bag.
Both said the representative. One seated here, the other here, and they were like, "You have internet?" I said, "Yeah, I can get internet. Open your browser, go to YouTube, play this song.
You know how many times you're going to type a song?
They disorganize your whole set.
Do they? I think they also maybe don't know how it works. They don't know that you have like a bunch of songs curated for the moment. You have your whole plan. You have your set. And he thinks
to
maybe...
To be honest, I don't think they even care. All they're about is...
No, here's the thing. Fun. They have this thing. They also have this thing, we hired you. We're your bosses.
Very true.
We are feeding you
do
today.
as we say.
They don't care about the art of doing it. Make us happy.
Yeah. But like,
that's what we pay you for.
Jamil, do you feel like even with when in any art form, be it film, be it music, to just in the back of your mind, while you try to bring this thing to life, you have to think about the demography.
Yeah.
You have to think about the time it's coming out. You have to think about, there's so many factors that come at play, but then those factors can work to your advantage and many times also your disadvantage. Because what you really want to portray will be manipulated by factors that you have no control over. Yeah. When you're writing music, and you have to write a summer song,
Because that's the moment.
Because it's required.
That's the moment. That's what the label also wants.
I need to appeal to a different audience. Just generally speaking. It's needed.
Man.
We all struggle with that.
Yeah.
So recently, I had a conversation with my uncle, and he was telling me, I listen to your music and I don't know, sometimes I do not know what your audience is. What audience are you targeting?
Because I'm not in that audience.
So I told him, I'm singing for the youth, but I think my music appeals to all demographics. So he told me, maybe stick to singing just for the youth. You'll become an ambassador, an influencer for strictly the youth. But life has taught me different. I've been through a lot of things. They've made me stronger. They've made me grow, I think, way more maturely than my age mates. So I find myself singing very
conscious,
mature,
like
lyrics
and stuff.
Yeah. So I appeal to guys who are 40 plus. They tell me, we love this song like reality. The guys don't want to believe I'm 20-something. They think I'm 42.
Because
I'm like,
tapping,
I am not 42.
For your age, you're tapping into parts of their life.
Yes, and I'm struggling with writing for specifically my age group. I don't think there should be rules in music.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm like, when Wana was asking that, I thought about this thing I've been writing for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take me that long, but it has taken me that long. So here's the thing. I had this idea of having an album of animal stories of sorts. So at first, my first piece was about this hen that comes from Kawempe and moves to Muyenga. So like I imagine like the lifestyle change of that situation.
Wow.
Like
Can hens survive in Muyenga?
like of course they would.
They'll survive anywhere, Wana.
They would survive anywhere.
Look,
I
I know your stories. Yeah. You're going to tell us more, but I would like to actually think about this hen.
Yeah.
Okay? I've walked through Muyenga, guys. And Muyenga has way too many dogs.
Yes, they do.
That hen would live.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. You would have to have like provision for the dog and the chicken where they don't mix and they never go to each other's side. That's the only way I think they would
but
survive.
the hen migrated saying, maybe, you know what?
It's going to be a better life.
Let me go
it's going to be a better life.
You know? And then you get to the high life and you're like, man, there's dogs up in this high life.
I should consider that for part two, like how, because the hen is called Maggie. So Maggie goes to Muyenga, moves on to Muyenga, and it's really about like a lifestyle upgrade. Yeah. And to be honest, I also experienced that. So living from living in a different area and moving to that place and seeing how I do things, seeing what I learn from people who are there. So it's sort of like inspired that. But then about the piece that has been delayed. Now this piece is about 4 rats that are coming from different places, Natete, Busega, and these rats are trying to buy a hole in Kololo. So it's also a thing of also like trying to get better. So they want to go to Kololo and buy a hole, but I've always like what's beating me up about this thing is I don't know what I want to do with it or where I want to take it. I do know these rats want to go to Kololo and buy a hole, have a better life and all that shit. But someone asked me, where would you place it in our times? Like if you were to say use this situation like the pandemic right now, how would you like And I had never thought of it like that.
Situation-wise.
And that created, instead of like helping open my eyes, it created more confusion for me. Because now I was like, how do I incorporate the rat story into the times and all that? It's a weird challenge sometimes. And what I prefer is to create without thinking about it. And maybe
how is that possible though?
And maybe subconsciously the work will speak to the times because I was living in the times when I made it. That's how I would say it. Like that's how, because man, it's crippling in a way. For if you have to think about, like, that's where you find sometimes somebody has a business manager, somebody has a stylist, someone who has, you focus on this, on the creating, on the building, and someone else does other things. Though some guys do all of it, but in this sense, I like to make it and then let what I've made fit into the times, or maybe fit into the times that it's for, because I can't stop it.
Maybe connect it to your story, then your life story.
Exactly.
I'd put myself, like, if I was writing such a story, I'd imagine the hen is tired of living that kind of miserable life.
Animals now, like
yes, the hen is tired of not getting enough or not having enough, and it has gained the courage to go out there and find itself a better life. Yeah. Now, this is how life is. Many times I tell people, school will not prepare you for the world.
In a way, it does.
Knowledge is power.
How to deal with people also. I feel like it's more of
school is about competition. It's about winning. It's about grades, passing your exam.
Which is a great thing to have.
Thank you. But life is not about competition. It's about cooperating. How well you work with people.
Is that the reality or what?
It is the reality, Wana. You know why last time I told you work really well with people, and that is one of the reasons why you'll be successful? Many people have the money, but are struggling. They feel they're up on their high horses and feel like they have it all sorted. So-and-so is irrelevant. So-and-so is irrelevant. And at the end of the day, these so-and-sos all don't want to work with them anymore. They tell you, fuck you and your money. So I'd imagine myself. I think that hen would survive. In my story, it would survive because life is a jungle with no road, and you have to, pave a road for yourself.
So when I thought of a part two, I saw the hen fed up of Muyenga. Like, this is some bullshit.
And most of the times they say for you to be successful, you need to be tired of your situation and hungry to be better.
What's
that propels you, that pushes you.
It pushes you. And trust me, when you meet the dogs, you'll find a way of dealing with the dogs.